This video will show how to connect the buffer filler system to any 4-channel wire myograph. If you order the buffer filler with your myograph, it will come pre-installed. We will show how to connect the buffer filler itself, the bottle and the motor, and the appropriate tubing. If you order the buffer filler after your original purchase of the myograph, you will receive the buffer filler itself, the bottle with the attached motor, in addition to 4 attachment screws, an Allen key to attach the screws, 2 kinds of tubing, and a power supply and cable. It will be easier to attach the buffer filler if you remove the chambers. You will align the 4 holes from the buffer filler to the pre-drilled holes on the back of the myograph. After hand tightening the screws, you can go through with the Allen key and tighten each one. You do not need to over-tighten the screws. Between the 4 screws, the filler will be securely attached. Just hand tighten the screws until they are secure. After fixing the screws, you will need to plug in the filler into the RS-232 port on the back of the myograph. You can now connect the power supply. You can now connect the pump and bottle to the filler. There is an orientation of the plug. Make sure that it is properly aligned when connecting the pump. Finally, we will attach the tubing to the pump and the filler. Match the port labeled 1 on the back of the filler with the port labeled 1 on the top of the pump. Do the same with 2. Make sure the tubing length is sufficient so that the bottle can sit in a water bath. The last thing you will do is connect the remaining port on top of the pump to your gas tank. You will use a small tubing for this. The last step is to connect the lines from the filler to the port with your vacuum and your gas bubbling on top of the myograph. You should consider the orientation when attaching the filler tubing to ensure that the chamber cover will still fit in place. You can always rotate this afterwards though. However, you can rotate the filler clip connection after it's attached. Now you can test that your filler has been appropriately connected. You can turn the power on of the filler. You should see a blue light in the lower right-hand corner. You can drop the connections with the vacuum, gas, and now buffer filler into the chambers. Access the filler menu. Turn the pump on and wait until buffer is being cycled through and is re-entering the bottle. You can now select either all for the half fill or all for the completely fill to make sure that buffer will enter the individual chambers. The buffer filler is now working. You can calibrate to make sure that you have the appropriate values, but it is ready for use. More information can be found on the DMT website under the Resources tab, where you can find training videos, as well as detailed information in the Buffer Filler User Guide.